So what it comes down to with the witness testimony and the amount of evidence is how far can it go? So his evidence is added to someone else's evidence, which is added to someone else's evidence. It's either supporting evidence or it follows the storyline, whatever, but it fits together. And then there's documented proof of everything else. Okay, here's a tape recording of a phone call between Mark Meadows and Donald Trump, and because of that phone call, we have here's the cell phone records that go with it, and here's the burner phone that isn't registered to either one of their names that they only use for these illegal conversations. Hey, wow, this one's linked to a Twitter account. Let's see what that is. All of that information is in Jack Smith's hands. All of that information is going to be put in a briefing to the court, which is a public forum. That evidence is going to be put up. It is an evidence dump, and it's put up, and there's not all of it's going to be public, probably half of it, but the stuff that we are going to be able to see, firsthand evidence, because this has to happen. Remember, by the order of the Supreme Court, they have to go through every tiny piece of evidence and determine whether or not it is presidential job, and that's why it happens, so he gets presidential immunity, or it's a personal thing, which makes it criminal. That is what they demanded. So Judge Chutkan said, I got this. This is the document day that evidence is presented to court, and Judge Chutkan starts to go through each one and says, well, so what he did was this. That doesn't sound very presidential. That goes into, we could throw your ass in jail for it pile. And they do that with thousands and thousands of pages of evidence, videos, depositions. It's all there. Everything is there. And Jack Smith got permission with his 180 pages to present every freaking page. And Donald Trump and his team said, no, we want to keep it to 45. It's only fair. No, we only get... Yeah. Chutkan said, veto, Mr. Trump. That ain't going to happen. Denied every motion and actually gave them a bonus denial just in case they were thinking about it going another way. So tomorrow we get that evidence. Have faith, ladies and gentlemen. Justice may be slow. But if you step back and look at the big picture, all of the stuff they put together, we're about to see. It's going to be much easier convincing what's left of the intelligence in MAGA to say, here it is. And it will change minds. So stop getting angry in response. Look at it for what it is. They need more, so let's give them more. If they get all of that stuff and they're still being asses about it, then we could be assholes back. But until that, let's just give them more. You need more evidence? All right. Mr. Jack Smith, what you got? Oh, you got 5,000 pages of guilt? That includes Congress people, senators, all these other people that are involved that have been pushing these files and this evidence from becoming public knowledge because it puts their jobs in danger as well. These people who actually are scared shitless of jail time because of the stuff they know they did. You know why they know they did it? Because their burner phones are connected to Mark Meadows and Donald Trump's burner phones and Roger Stone's burner phones and Mike Flynn's burner phones and Steve Bannon's burner phones. All of their phones are in FBI/Jack Smith's possession. And you're telling me that the reason that they were worried about it coming out was election interference? You're not that stupid, so shut up and listen. Everybody who's involved in this, Josh Hawley, Jim Jordan, Lindsey Graham, all of those people, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, MTG, are criminally liable, and the evidence is in what Jack Smith is going to deliver tomorrow. Why do you think they went silent? Why do you think for the last 5 months we haven't really heard much from Bobo or Matt Gaetz or anything like that? Why? MAGA, Republicans, I know you're not stupid. I don't know, maybe some of you are, but I know most of you aren't. Your political choice, the side of the aisle, is a letter that someone could pretend to have. They may not believe in exactly what you want. And if you look at what they actually believe in, it's probably way off from what you want. So instead of looking at that name in front of Kamala Harris's name or Donald Trump's name, that little letter, instead of looking at that, look at what they are actually doing. All the political bullshit aside, look at what they're actually doing. If you want to know what they think about something, ask them. Because we have a healthcare situation that everyone's having problems with healthcare, just by example. Everyone's having problems with healthcare. We have solutions on the table. Who care where the solutions come from? If it's the solutions that are going to solve the problem, then we better damn well want our representatives to want that for us, because that's our choice. We want that. We want lower food costs. We want lower gas prices. We want inflation down. We want unemployment down. We want health care that you can't get sick once and wipe out $10 million you busted your ass to wipe out. We all want that. So why are you fucking angry? Focus on that. I'd say 90% of what you're angry about, we're angry about too. But for years, people have been walking away from relationships, walking away from jobs, getting fired from jobs because of a political choice, but we still agree on 90% of it, maybe even 95%. If they were friends and you loved them at one point, you probably agree with them a lot more than you disagree with them. So why the hell are they your enemy because they voted on another side of the aisle? If you're walking around this earth and you're looking at things that are actually happening, that you know are happening, and you're questioning every bit of logic and you're fighting people that you love based on something that you don't know if it's true or not, that's what's making your life harder. That's what's making your life more miserable. We're all in this together. Republicans and Democrats, no matter who wins, we are suffering or prospering together. I like what Kamala Harris has to say. I'm not voting for her because she's a Democrat. I like what she has to say because our choices are what she has to say in her plans or Donald Trump and what he has to say in his plans. So in order to make that decision, you need to be adult enough and intelligent enough to actually find out what those plans are. And if you're just saying, oh, Donald Trump's better economy, how? Tariffs? Do you know what tariffs are? Do you know what they actually do? Because what Donald Trump is telling you that they do, they don't do. The opposite happens. Wouldn't you want to know that for a fact? If you're pissed off at how prices are rising all over the world, all over this country, wouldn't you want to know why? Otherwise, do you want a solution to it? So you don't want to know why it's happening, but you want a solution. Okay, that's great. You're allowed to do that. So let's do this. You look at the two people you have to choose from and you say, hey, Donnie boy, I love you, man. MAGA like my red hat. What's this actual solution? And make sure it's a solution. Because if it's not, that's a negative against your man. Whether you love him or not, he doesn't have a solution to that problem. He has a concept to fix healthcare. The same problem that he said when he got into office in 2 weeks, because he already has an amazing one already written. It's going to revolutionize. It's the best. And then when asked about it after the 2 weeks, it's 2 more weeks, and then a month, and then 2 weeks, and then blah, blah, blah. And now he's got a concept. He's been doing that. That's not a political argument. That's a fact. He has been doing that in front of all of us. He has said it to your face. So stop arguing about it. It's a fact. So you're looking at this guy that did these things, period. You're not looking at your Republican with the red hat that you love so much. This guy did these things. Get Donald Trump and everything that goes with it out of it. This guy did these things that you didn't like. Remember that. Now, who's going to fix them? The guy who's still doing them, who denies it ever happened, or the other person that you don't know, but you know that solution that's being offered is actually a damn good idea. Yeah. So you take that point that Donald Trump just lost and you put it with her. Why? Because she has an idea to fix the problem that's pissing you off. What's next? Immigration? Great. What's your, Donald Trump, what's your solution? Not, I'm going to close the borders. No, actually, what's your solution? And ask that question. Ask for the actual solution, not the tagline, not the, the marketing campaign. Ask for the fucking solution, or stop being mad about it. So guess what? You don't get a good enough answer from him, so you ask her. Educate yourself on what they both want. Screw the party. The party doesn't mean shit. Donald Trump was a Democrat most of his life. Let that sink in. So choose the person who's going to take the action that you agree with on the policies, on the actual thing, not the political freaking pulpit speech. The actual, look at the bill that the Democrats put up, but the Democrats didn't put it up. A Republican wrote it. The most conservative Republican in the House wrote it. And the Democrats gave more on each thing because it was the right thing to do and it was finally able to be done. It wasn't about politics, and if it was, who the fuck cares? It's the solution right now. So on immigration, that solution, if you don't know what it is, read it. It's pretty good, and it'll address most of what you're angry about. And if there's some left that still needs to address, great, we'll work on that down the road. Let this stuff start first. Why? Because we both know it needs to happen. Who cares who gets credit for it or not? It needs to happen. We automatically jump to the political party we voted for. We automatically, it's Biden putting it up, so it's Biden's. No, it's freaking not. That's not how it works. Educate yourself on how it works. Educate yourself on what the bill actually is for. Educate yourself on what you're so fucking angry about. Just educate yourself. And if you're not sure and you haven't fact-checked, a real fact-check, not, well, Jesse Waters said it right next to Bret Baier, so it's got to be true. No, it's not fact-checking. That's pushing your head up your ass with one arm and then fitting it better with the other. Either way, your head's up your ass. So look for the information or ask about it. So if you're looking at Kamala as a president or Donald Trump as a president, you already talked to Donald Trump about the economy. You already about healthcare. You already talked about 3 different major issues that affect your life every day, especially if you get sick. And Donald Trump has a plan. Are you still? Is that what you want? Or do you want the solution? Stimulating the economy? Forcing big companies to stop price gouging? So the Republicans will be pissed off that it's so expensive. And even once they do recognize that it's actually that expensive because the companies are doing it on purpose, but they're blaming it on, instead of blaming it on the people who actually have part of it. There's a bunch of Republicans that own like majority stake in things like Kroger's and things like those big stores. One of the first store that came out and admitted it was price gouging, like 85% or something ridiculous. That's owned by some House Republicans, like majority stock owners. And you wonder why they voted down those bills. That would have forced companies like Kroger's, companies like the oil companies, to stop gouging the customers. She said, the prices went up because of Biden. Why are they making record profits? Like their profits now are bigger profits than their history. Why is that? Use your freaking heads. There's a reason why they're making major profits, because they can price gouge and get away with it. But if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's plan was put in place, they wouldn't be allowed to. Oh, the poor Republican owners of those companies would lose money. Well, tough shit. You know who would save money? All of us that are pissed off on how much everything costs.